So last Monday, we already learned some of this method. So we look at the function definition is null, not null, info is NA, and so on. Now let's check how the code works in Python. So we learn about the isnull. So the isnull is the function to check whether this cell is null or not. This cell is null, whether this cell is null. Okay, true. Then it is null, or this is missing value. If you do isnull.sum, then you will get the summation. How many of them are null, or how many of them are missing? So in this case, the first score, we have 1. The second score, we have 1 and 2. So we have 2 data is missing. If you use the dot info, it means you can see we have 5 data. Okay. And on the column first score, we have only 4. On the second score, we have only 3. On the third score, we have 5. Okay, then it means there is no missing value. On the fourth score, we have 1. Then we have 4 missing value. On the remark, we have only 4 non-null. Then we have 1 missing value. Okay, so from this information, we can also get how many missing values are available in our dataset. So the isNA is similar with the isnull. So we can check what is the cell status. So in this case, false, then it is not null. False, this is not null. Okay, so this is null, 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 or this is not available. And then if you do the summation again, you will get how many missing values in the column. So the first score, we have 1 missing value. On the second score, we have 2 missing value, and so on. When we do with the missing values, as I mentioned before, there are 2 strategies. Okay, the strategy first is drop, and the other is fill in. Drop means remove or delete. Fill means we put a new value. So there are some ways. Dropping rows at least 1 null value. So if the null value available in the row, then it will be removed. Dropping rows with all null values. So it means all the row will be removed. If we have at least 1 null value in the columns, yeah, we can also remove only the columns. Or there are some kind of threshold. So threshold means how many missing values that you can tolerate. So we will use drop NA. It removes rows or columns with missing value with customizable option for the axis and the threshold. We have fill NA. So fills the missing values like this one for the missing value with min or the median, or we can fill with the forward and backward. And the replace, this was the missing, we can replace with the specific method or with the specific value. If we drop NA, it means we will dropping rows with at least 1 null value. Okay, what does it mean? So Okay, you can see this row. The row contains at least one null value. What about the second row? The second row contains two missing values. What about the third row? It contains two missing values. The row number 3, it contains one missing value. The row number 4 contains one missing value. It means every row there is at least one. So when we use the drop NA, it will remove all the data. So it means we don't have any data for our analysis. Okay. The other kind of drop is so the other kind of drop NA is how equals to all. So how means the parameter. We want to check if the row contain null value for all. Okay, then it means if the row has null value for all, then drop it or delete it. Because this one we have only one, then we will keep this. This one we have only two missing values, not all. So we keep this row and so on. Okay, so all means if this one missing, then we will remove it. We can use the axis equal to 1. The axis equals to 1 means we want to check this on the column. Okay. So if we just specify axis equal to 1, then we want to drop columns with at least one null value. So if you look at this column, we have one null value. What about this column? We have two null values. What about the third column? Okay, no missing values. Fourth column, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth column, we have 1. Then we need to drop the columns with at least one null value. So we drop this one, we drop this one, we drop this one, we drop this one. And the remaining is only one column, only this column. Okay. Oh. So you can see, yeah, if we do the isnull, then we can get this is true. True, then this is the null value. True, true. Okay, this is null value. And then if you use the summation, you will get how many missing values are there in the column. And then if you check the info, you will see this info. Now, yeah, if you use the is and a, you will get the same result with the is null. And then if you do with the is and a dot sum, then you will do the summation. How many missing values are there in the column? So if you do with the drop and a, then you will remove all the data. So it means you will have no data for your analysis because every column has, every row has at least one missing value. If you use how equals to all, then you need to satisfy that all rows, each row have missing values. So in this case, we have only one. Then we will just keep this data. And if we have the drop and a axis equals to 1, then it means we will just keep the data or the column where the column has no null value. So we will drop the column with at least one null value. So let's look at the next one. We can set up how many data that you want to keep. So we have the drop NA, and we have the trace, okay, THRESSH. So this is the threshold. Threshold means you can satisfy how many missing values you want to keep. So if you use 3, it means dropping the rows with fewer than 3 non-null values. So I think I missed this one. Okay. Dropping rows with fewer than 3 non-null values. So 3 non-null values, it means if you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is more than 3. Okay. 3 non-null, it means we have at least 3 values. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, we keep it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we keep. So we keep all the data. Let's say if I have 4. So we keep only 2 rows. Now we can also do with the columns. So if we change the axis equal to 1, it means we check the column, how many null values that we want to keep. So in this case, we want to dropping columns with fewer than 3 non-null values. So if you run this one, we have the first score. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we keep it this one. The second score, we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, we keep this one. The third score, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we keep this one. But what about the fourth score? The fourth score, let's change this one. Okay, the fourth score, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 missing values, and we have only 1 non-null values. That's why it follows this threshold. Because we have only 1, then we remove the fourth score. For the remark, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we keep this column. Okay. So the other thing that we can learn, not only dropping, but we can fill in the missing values. So there are 3 methods that we will learn: fill NA, replace, and interpolate. Fill NA. So we can specify what is the argument in the parenthesis. So for example, we want to fill the missing value with 0. Then we can specify fill NA, and inside the parenthesis we put 0. Then we will fill the missing value with 0. We can fill the previous value. Fill with the previous value, we will use the forward fill. We have fill with the next value, we call backward fill. And fill the NaN values with constant. So you can specify a string, for example, unknown. So let's see. If we specify fill NA, fill NA 0. So fill the missing values with 0. This is the NA, this is the NA, this is the NA, this is the NA, this is the NA. Oh, yeah, I missed it. So everything is now 0. Okay. So we put 0 in the NaN, which is for the numerical, and null, which is for object. If you use ffill, ffill is the forward fill. So fill the missing value based on the previous value. So what is the previous value? It will fill in this cell. So this is missing. Then the previous value is 30. Then we will fill this cell with the previous value. Okay, I have forgot this one. So this cell is empty, NaN. So we check what is the previous value. So the previous value is 56. Then we fill with the 56. What about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Because we have no previous value. Okay, there is no previous value. Then it will be still within NaN because there is no previous value. No previous value. What about here? The previous value is good. Then we put good to fill in the missing value. So if you check this fill missing value, okay, so if you fill in with 0, then yeah, this 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. If you fill, then means you will fill the missing value based on the previous value. Then you will get 90, 30, 56, and then all of them are NA because we have no previous value and we have good. So this is based on the previous value, which is good. What about the P fill? P fill means the backward fill. Backward fill means I want to fill the missing values based on the next values. So here is missing. And the next value is 95. So I put the value 95 to fill in this missing value. So this is missing, and I put the next value to fill in this missing value. What about this one? Because this is the last row. Okay, this is the last row, and there is no next value. Then the value keeps NaN. Now, if you check this one, all of them are missing. And now we are going to use the next value. So the next value will be on the previous. This one will be filling in this cell. This will fill in this cell, and this will fill in this cell. So all of them will be 65. What about this? This will be still none because we don't have any next value because this is the last row. Okay. So why I put the fill here? Okay, so we can do the fill backward fill, and then yeah, this one will be filled in by the next value. This value will be filled in by this value, and so on. We can do with the unknown. I don't use the unknown. Oh, sorry, I think I missed this one. This should be unknown. Okay. So let's see in the code. The unknown, actually it is for the object only. Okay. Why? Because if you put with the code, if you put with the code like this one, unknown, it means this is string. Okay. If you are using string and you put the string in the numbers, then it will be conflict. Okay. So this one is a warning. You need to do for the object only. Okay. So if your data is categorical, or if your data is object, okay, you can replace with unknown. You can see here, this is number, but you can see unknown. So when you do the analysis, it will be a problem. So if you do this one, you will have unknown. And then if you check the unknown and then dot info, then the first score, second score, fourth score, and this first score, third score, and fourth score will become object. What is object? It is string. Then you cannot do any mathematical formulation. You cannot do any calculation. Okay. So be careful with the unknown. We also can do the fill in with some other methods. For example, we want to fill in with the min. Min means I want to check the average. Okay. If it is the average, it means the data should be numeric. Then I will make the parameter. It is for numerical data only. Then you need to specify numeric only equals to true. Then you will get the result. This one, 93.5. How can we get this result? This is from 99 plus 90, 99 plus 90 plus 95 plus 90. And then we want to get the average. So the average is 93.5. So we put this value to fill in this missing value. Okay. In the second score, yeah, you can see this one and this one. So we have three values at the original data. It means we have 30 plus 45 plus 56 divided by 3. So the result is 43.67. So we put this value to fill in the missing value. We put this value to fill in the missing value. And so on. For the fourth score, because we have only one value, then the mean or the average is the same with this value. So we give 65, 65, 65, 65, 65. What about this column? Because this is object, then the value is still the same, which is null. Then it is still missing. So let's say I want to specify only a particular column. For example, in the first column, I want to use the min. On the second column, I want to use median. On the third column, I want to use the mode or the most frequent values. So you have different kind of method for each column. Then you can specify. For the first score, I want to fill the missing values with the min of the first score. Okay. Or yeah, you can define also you want to fill in the missing value with the second score min. So you can make the specific. Okay, you can do this one, and you can do with the specific value min. So for example, on the first score, I want to use the median. Then you can specify the column name and then fill an A and then what median that you want to use. Then the median is 92.5. Or I want to check the mode. Mode is the most frequent value. I log 0. So I log 0 means when you have the mode, the mode will be in the ranking. So index 0 is the most frequent. And then when you have index 1, when you have index 2, index 3, index 4. So index 1, it means this is the rank number 1. So this is, this is rank number 1, this is rank number 2, rank number 3, rank number 4, rank number 5. This is the most, this is the second most, this is the third most, this is the fourth most, this is the fifth most. So we need to specify which mode data you want to use. So in this case, I'm using the mode which is index 1, or this is the top or the most frequent value. And yeah, you can specify, for example, for the remark, for the column remark, I would like to fill in with unknown. Then you will get the unknown. Yeah. So the other kind of methods, you can use replace. So replace what you saw on the first part of the missing value. We can replace the missing value. In this case, we define the np.nan. So we replace the missing value with a value, for example, minus 99. Then all the missing value will be replaced with minus 99. Okay. So if you run this, then all the missing section you will replace with minus 99. Minus 99. So this include the categorical columns. And the last part on the missing value, we can do with the interpolate. So the interpolate, actually there are two kind of method. The first is linear and the other is quadratic. So this is linear and the other there is also quadratic. But in order to do the quadratic, you need to have a lot of data. Okay, because the data is very small, so I just use the linear. You can try by yourself when you have more data. So in the method linear, so there is a kind of direction, whether it is forward or backward. So let's see. The result here, if you look at this data, Once you do the interpolate with linear, you will check the missing value is in the middle. So we have 90 and then missing value and then 95. So how we can fill in this missing value? We do the linear interpolation. So the missing value will be 90 plus 95 divided by 2. Then the result is 92.5. We put this one as the value in the missing value. Now let's see. So let's see the other missing value. Here is the missing value. Okay. The first number is 30 and then missing and then 45. Okay. Then how to fill in this missing value? This missing value is using the interpolation with the linear. Then it is 30 plus 45 divided by 2. Then the result is 37.5. So the 37.5 will be in this value. Okay. So the word for word means we will check from the previous value into the next values. What about the object? For the object, it will be just null, because this interpolate will do for numerical data. Okay. And what about this one? The fourth column. In the fourth column, because there is no previous value, then we cannot do the interpolation. If we change the direction, to backward, it means we will go from the last value into the first value. So the first value will be the same. Okay. So 90, 95. Then the missing value, it means we have 90 plus 95 divided by 2. Then yeah, it is the same, 92.5. It will be this value. And if you see this one, you can get the value here is NaN, because we don't have the next value, because we are using backward. We don't have the next value, then it is NaN. For this fourth score, all of them are 65, because we are using the backward. So the last value 65, it goes to all the missing values. So this is the interpolate with the forward and backward. So you can see here interpolate with forward, and this is the interpolate with backward. Okay. So the last one, I mentioned this final touch. What does it mean, the final touch? So you will fill in all the missing value and fix it in the data frame using in place equal to true. So what happens when you do this kind of method? Okay, so let me show you. When you see the DF, all the data are still NaN, 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 and null. Okay. Because this function will just check what if you do this interpolate with this method. But actually it didn't change your data frame. In order to change your data frame, you need to specify in place equal to true. So if you do the in place equal to true, it means when you click the df, now it has been applied to your data frame. So your data frame, now we have the new data 0, 0, 0. We have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and we have 0. So this is based on the df fill and a. So I want to fill the not available data with 0, and then we have the inplace equal to true. So change the df directly with 0 for the missing values. Then we get this result. Okay. So before you do with the inplace equals to true, make sure what you want to use for the handling missing value. Okay. So this one is, I call final touch. It will replace all the NaN. Okay. Next, we are going to learn about the data aggregation. What is data aggregation? The first part of the data aggregation, I want to mention about the combined data set. So the combined data set means I have two data. Let's say this one, df users. So the data users, I have, it is a data frame. And then I have the column user ID, and I have the column name. So the user ID 1, the data is Alice. The user ID 2 is Bob. And the data ID 3, it is Charlie. So okay, I hope you understand this dictionary. And then I have another data frame, which is order. So it is another data frame. And I have the user ID. The user ID 1, the user ID 1 order a product which is laptop, and the price, for example, is 10, maybe 10,000 US dollar. Okay, so we just keep only the small value. The ID number 2, this person ordered TV and the price is this one. The ID 1 order phone and the price is this one. The ID number 3 order laptop and the price is this one. Now let's see. So we will look at the aggregation. Okay, there are some things, for example, the data integration, group by, and some kind of function. Okay, so we will check how to do the count, the mean, median, minimum, maximum, and so on. So I have two data frame, df users and df order. So let's check. What is df users? So df users is data about the user. So user ID 1, name Alice. The user ID 2 is Bob, and the user ID 3 is Charlie. And we have orders. So df order. So the df order is user ID 1. I know that the user ID 1 order laptop and the price is 10. The user ID 2 order TV and the price is 20. And the user ID 1 order phone, the price is 15, and the user ID 3 order laptop and the price is 10. Now I want to concatenate. What is concatenate? So I want to combine the data set. Before it was in different data frame. So the user has only the user ID and name. But in this order, I have only the user ID. So let's say I want to combine with the user ID so that I can see the username in this data frame. then I can do like this one. The combined data, I'm using the concat. Concat means combine or concatenate. And I'm going to concatenate two data frame, which is the df users and df orders. Ignore index true. So if you look at this one, you can see the data in this data frame. We have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the index start from 0, 1, 2, and 3. This data has 3 data, 0, 1, 2. Okay. So actually the data size is different, and we need to match with the user ID. So if I just combine the two data frame, and if we ignore the index, the combination will be like this one. What does it mean? This is from the df users, and then this is from the df order. When you combine those two data or those two data frame, in the df users, we do not have the product. In the df users, we don't have price. So every of this cell will be NaN. In the df orders, we have only user ID and product and price. So every of this name will be NaN. Okay. Is it right? Actually, this is not what we want. Okay. The combination is not correct. So we need to find out how we can combine the data. Okay. So if you combine the data or you combine the row, then you can use this method. But in this case, we are not combining the row. We are combining two data sets. So we can use merge. If we use merge, we can specify what is the data frame that we want to merge, what is the other data frame that we want to merge, and specify what would be the index that you want to use to combine those two data sets. So in this case, we are using the df users, and then we have df orders, and we know that those two columns have the same column, which is user ID. Okay, so just now, let's say just the user ID, and let's assume that those two data frame, okay, let's say there's these two df orders, we have the column user ID, and the df users, we have also user ID. So let's assume the column name, they are the same. If they are not the same, we need to do other things. Now let's assume that those two are the same. So we can use the combination or the concatenation based on the user ID. Then we can get this combined data frame. So the ID one, the name is Alice, and Alice bought the order laptop and the price is 10. They are user ID one, Alice, and she order phone and the price is 15. 2 is Bob, TV 20, and 3 Charlie, laptop, and 10. So we have a new column, which is name, and this is the combination of two data sets. So in some cases, you need to combine data set, and you need to check how to combine the two data sets. Let's have a break. Okay, I will continue after the break.